I love doing this every single Wednesday with you all. And even people who listen to the replay on the podcast, listen to the replay in the page or in the group, is it's like, it's always a check for me and myself and my business. And so like whenever I'm speaking, and I'm sure Jess can say the same thing, like when we're talking to ourselves too. We're giving ourselves that same mantra. And I had to cover my hair, so I had to choose which hat. And I wore this hat today. It says nobody trains to be average. And I think that's so true for everybody in here. Like, you're not coming to trainings, you're not having a business, you're not getting up early to, do whatever it is you do for your morning routine. You're not doing all that just to be average, because average people don't do that kind of stuff. They don't do and make waves in their life. Like, so I want to just personally thank you, because I think sometimes I have people message me and say, I needed that today. And I'm like, listen, I needed it too. It always fills my cup. So, oh my gosh, sure. I thought that was a face of you, but then I saw you move and I was like, oh no, it's her. Good morning. Good morning. All right, y'all. So I want to talk about brands today, and growing a brand. And it's going to be a little growth conversation, not as far as just social media, but growth that can happen to you through social media and to you through your business. And I wanted to talk about it because I've just had a lot of revelations in the last, over a while, but especially in the last probably week. I started that book that Jess was talking about, You Owe You. And I'm not kidding you guys. I say this all the time probably, but I'm not a crier. I cry by myself. I'm that person. I don't like crying in public. That book had me crying because I was just like having so many revelations about myself. And I was like, oh my Lanta, like what an incredible story that he has. But not only, it's like one of those things, like when you're reading it, you literally feel like he's talking to you. I did the Audible because I'm just always on the go, but I want to get the book as well. So if that's not something you haven't checked out yet, it's called You Owe You. We're nice and cozy, Jeff. So it's just a great book. And it went exactly with what I wanted to talk about today, because he literally built a brand from the ground up. And when you listen to his story and what he's become now, branding is what's taken him to where he is. And so I kind of want to give you like a little bit of like what it is, like that way too, because I think sometimes too, a lot of people are underestimating their expertise here. They're literally thinking that you need to be, in a business for this many years, earning all these awards and all these comp plans to have a personal brand. You could start a business tomorrow and start a personal brand. If I could go back and punch myself, because 7 years ago, I should have immediately started a personal brand. There were lots of opportunities that I missed. And I don't dwell on this too much, but I get a little pissed at myself, especially when I was reading that book. I was like, Sydnee, what were you doing? So I want to tell you all the stuff that I did so that you don't do the same thing and you start growing a personal brand today. So basically too, like what you think of like a perfect example for me that I wanted people to realize when I spoke about personal brand. Number one, Eric Thomas is a great one. But in case you don't know who he is, everybody knows who Gary Vee is. Okay. Gary Vee has built a personal brand. Sometimes I don't even know what the heck he does, but he does everything. Like if you go on his Instagram, he's flipping at garage sales. He's a motivational speaker. He's an author. He owns a media company. He actually has like a huge liquor store sales. That's where he started with his parents. But he's a brand. Like when you hear someone say Gary Vee, everybody knows who you're talking about. And he has built that personal brand solely through social media. And what I love about him is he is I was going to say a bad word, no F's given type person. He's going to give it to you exactly how it comes out, exactly what he wants. I watched a video from him a couple weeks ago. I follow him on Instagram. If you don't, he's just a great person to help you like really click into your authenticity. But he was talking to a teacher and she's like, I just feel like you swear a lot. Like, why do you need to swear? It's not, you don't need to do that if you're a professional. And, aren't you worried about your kids swearing? And he was like, if they swear and they use it in the right context, no, I'm not going to be mad at them. And using the, swear words is a part of my brand. And that's what a lot of people know him for too. If you ever listen to one of his Instagrams, or one of his videos, don't have it on loud in front of your kid because he was dropping F-bombs like it's nothing. That's his brand though. No one's going to ever be able to take that from him. And he realized, just like we were talking, last week, he could be the juiciest peach. Someone's still not going to like peaches. And he doesn't care about the people who don't like peaches. So when you're going through this whole personal brand, I really want you to detach yourself from trying to be liked by everybody, trying to make sure everybody likes the post that you make. Like, they're just not going to. Your hair might be blonde and I don't like blondes, but that's not going to stop you from having blonde hair. It shouldn't, at least, right? And I know so many of us over consume in social media that when we see someone else doing something, then we're like, oh, but I did it this way. That is okay. That is okay. You're creating a personal brand. If not, you're becoming a sheep and you're just going to be a sheep. We need lions here. We need people who are going to like pave and make way, whether people like it or not, because there are going to be the people that go, oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh, so fun. Right? Like, especially when I started doing reels, I know how many people were like, I can't do reels like that. I'm not funny, or I don't have a personality. I could have very well been like, you know what? I shouldn't do reels. They don't like them. But that's my personality. I'm fun. I enjoy doing that kind of stuff on social media. That's what I do, right? Think about like food. If somebody doesn't like this food and you do, you're not going to stop eating it because they don't like it, right? Like, if you do, that just doesn't make sense. We need to check you. So what does it mean to build your own personal brand? Basically, you're creating an image for your business, your brand, your product that's going to differentiate you from competitors. The biggest thing we have here in network marketing that I hear quite often is everybody's doing it. How many people do you see selling something online? You like lots, right? What differentiates you from them? Why would someone choose to go with you versus them? That's where your brand is going to kick in. Think about in business, for example, whatever business you're in right now, you were attracted to the business, whether you liked the product or company, right? You were attracted to the business because the person who introduced it to you, whether it was their success, their brand, maybe you knew that they were just going to help take you to the top. Maybe you just knew that they were going to be there and have community. There was something about that person that attracted you to even try the product or even try the company, right? Because most of us too, it's off belief. Like I'm the type of person, if anything I order on Amazon, I'm always looking at the reviews. I don't know half those people, but I'm always like, you know what, I'm going to trust this person over just the regular Amazon, or if it's cheap, or you know what I mean? Think about all the influencers who talk about all the stuff that they have on their Amazon storefront. They might not even use it all, but they have a brand that's making you go, oh, well, she uses it, I'm going to use it. Well, she bought it and she likes it, so I'm going to buy it. You might not even like it, but you're buying it because you're into someone's brand. So think about, and again, it goes back to, I know a lot of people think they just joined their business or they just started their business, or maybe you're just revamping your business. You do not need to be an expert or an influencer or a huge thought out leader to start a personal brand. You start right now. If you get off here and you're like, what can I do to start right now? You start right now. Inside the Hustle and Slay page too, I have this little bubble thing that I created a while back. And it basically will just help you like find things about yourself. And I don't want to use the word niche. I feel like it scares people. And I feel like you feel like you need to fit in some kind of box. I don't care if you have 50 niches, okay? It's up to you. You're going to figure out eventually what one works best for you and what you're doing. But so many times we get caught up in that, like, well, I need to be an expert at this. Everybody starts somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. And that's why I want to give you guys like tools, because if I had the tools 7 years ago to start branding myself, I'd be in a way different like mentality. Like, because I'm reading through some of the stuff that I even have on my notes today. And I'm like, okay, I need to start doing more of that. I need to start doing more of that. I need to start doing more of that. So just remember, when you start establishing a brand, whether it's, you know, today or next week, you start working on your niches and all that kind of stuff next week, you're going to have so much of an easier time networking and marketing yourself. And I don't want to scare anybody, but I really want you to think hypothetically, okay? If something were to happen to your company or your product right now, what would you do? What would you have? Where would you go? Would you be able to sell yourself? Would you be able to go find another opportunity? Or would you just kind of, because what happens to most people, and we've seen it happen. I mean, there's lots of companies I've watched in the 7 years that I've been doing this, just tank, and then people just disappear. Imagine if you had a brand. Imagine if you had something that was just sustainable, that would attract more people, that you could go and say, you know what, I'm doing this, and then all these people are going to come along with you. So I just want you to think in that hypothetical space that it's very important that you brand yourself, because we never know what can happen. You just never know. And I don't like to scare people, but it's something that I think about quite often because I watched it happen. And I want to prepare myself and always stay prepared, because I always want to be an entrepreneur. Been an entrepreneur for 7 years. I don't know what I would do if I had to go somewhere. Like, what would I do with my child being home, like basically for 3 weeks? I would be fired right now. They would be like, absolutely not. Have a great day. But by the grace of God, I can work from right here, maybe a little stressed out some days more than others, but I can do that, right? And a personal brand, like, so when you think about it, and I'll post these notes in the Hustle and Slay page, because there's a lot of like noteworthy things. But think about skills, okay? And maybe your skills aren't where you're at right now. I'm going to give you, I heard this on a podcast the other day and it blew my mind. It said, if your income is lower than what you want, you need to raise your skill set. You might need to up your game and push things to your personal brand. So think about that. Like, okay, if your income is not where you want, and maybe it's not income, maybe your business is not where you want. How can you up your skill set? And it might take you starting to go live more. It might take you doing more reach outs. It might take you to get to that point, because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm between a rock and a hard place, I don't sit there. I push on that rock. I'm moving it, because I'm like, absolutely not. This feels very uncomfortable and I don't like it. So I need to get out of this. So you might need to up your skill set, which is fine. There are plenty of things, like growing a personal brand is upping your skill set. You're going to start working on yourself. And I loved when Jess was talking about on Monday about like going to therapy and stuff. Maybe that's what you need to do to gain some more self-confidence, some more courage. I started doing it and I love it. It's so nice to talk to somebody and like she's just like, I'm here, you say whatever you want. I'm like, that's lovely. And sometimes there's just something in your mind that makes you think that you are not good enough. And I want to tell you right now, every single person in here listening to the podcast, if you're even a smidgerine, you're good enough. You're 100% good enough. I know people who are not good enough that are winning. Okay. I'm just being honest with you, just because they're doing it. So think about those things, your skill set. And if it's not there, start working on maybe some things that you can grow a skill set with. Going live, doing more reach outs. Maybe it's, getting some more people on your team to certain ranks. Maybe it's just stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit. That's going to create more of a skill set for you. Maybe it's showing up on social media in a more professional way towards your brand. That's all upping your skill set. I'm not over here telling you need to learn Microsoft Excel, okay? That's got nothing to do with our business. So don't think of it like that. Just think of things you can do inside your business that will grow your skill set. Your personality. That's a perfect one. Y'all, I run straight off my personality. I know I'm good at business, but I run straight off my personality. It's just what I am. It's what I do. It's the easiest way I can connect with people. Every single person here has a personality. You just might not be open to sharing it with people. And that's all a part of personal brand. A reason I love going live, because people get a chance to learn about my personality, my mannerisms. All that stuff can't be seen through a pretty picture and a caption. They know nothing about like who I am, right? Of course, it's lovely to do that kind of content. But when you're going live and you're creating like fun reels, like I loved Erin. Erin did tons of reels while she was in Mexico. I had so much fun watching them. It really shined her personality. You could really see more about her. So your personality is a great place to start too with your skill set. Maybe you want to say, hey, you know what? I need to start being more vulnerable and sharing more about my personality and what I have to offer. Jill and I talked about this last week, which is funny, I'm talking about it now. But she's starting a Facebook group and I was like, dude, start talking about like, how you were able to retire and like those types of things that you did to get there. And maybe it was the extra savings, or maybe it was, cutting off subscriptions, or maybe it was just working your butt off until you got to that point where you were fine. But each of us have things inside of our personalities that we can share with people. We're just downgrading it because we think it's not expertise. And I want you to take that out of your mind. Goals, visions, all that kind of stuff is brand. Like start sharing with people where you want to go. It holds you accountable. I'm about to vomit because I'm going to say something that I don't really want anyone to hold me accountable to. So it's just a thought. Okay. Don't come for me. It's just a thought. And my dad is the one pushing it. God bless him. But he wants me to start like weightlift competing because I've been working out with him and he's like, you should just do a competition. I'll train you. And I'm like, I don't know, Dad, like too soon. Maybe I'll do it. Right. But that could be something that is going to build my confidence, build my brand, build my personality, build my credibility. Heck, because that's going to be a lot of training, a lot of discipline, a lot of different things that I am not used to. But that's a goal, right? That's a goal that I could share with people and have people go like, oh, wow, that's so cool. I've always wanted to do something like that. Or I'm here to cheer you on. So don't be fearful to share those things, a part of your brand, like where you want to go and how you want to get there. Like, it's okay if you're not there right now. I think so many of us too watch people on social media, and especially like TikTok is my favorite. Okay. All these people on TikTok that are influencing, and sorry if it's you, but everybody thinks that they have a perfect life until you see a video of them bawling their eyes out about how they can't stand themselves or social media or how mean people are. So do not like be masked by what's going on all the time. People are real people, real lives, real stuff going on. So it's okay for you to share those types of things. I'm not saying go on and cry about your life. You do that if you want to do that, but I personally wouldn't. But I'm just saying it's okay for you to share where you want to go. And if you're not there yet, that's fine. Say, I'm not there yet, but this is where I want to go. And this is where I'm headed. It's going to start holding your brand accountable for where you're going. So there's a couple things that I want to share with you guys. And then I have this like 4 C's to branding. Gosh, I hope that's not loud for you guys because it's so loud for me. I just want you to think what makes you unique to someone else. What is different about you? And each of us can think of things like that. I think about Kristen last week. We were on a couple meetings together and she's like, do you eat Asian food every day? And I was like, yeah, basically I do. And then I sent her a picture of me eating Asian food again for dinner that night. Things that make you different, okay? That it can be as small as that. Things that will make you different. Things that will make people ask, what the heck are you eating? What is that? What is this all about, right? It's all a part of your personal brand. And the biggest thing I want to stress right now too is have fun with this. It's so important. Network marketing, for a lot of us, especially myself, is full-time gig, right? But if it wasn't fun, if I wasn't passionate about it, I wouldn't be able to do it. Just being honest. It would be like like me clocking in a Dollar Tree, clocking in and clocking out. But I enjoy what I do. So have fun with this. First thing when we talk about personal brand that I think of is providing value. And when you are, I do not want you to doubt yourself in any way, shape, or form. I don't care if you're talking about how to cut a watermelon. You are the best watermelon cutter there ever has been. And I want you to say it that way and feel it that way. And when you finish, like when you finish alive, right? I hope I was able to provide you with some value. And if there's anybody else I can provide value with, just let me know. You're always providing value. What happens is though, sometimes people are like, doubt themselves a little bit. And I know, I've been there, I get it. You've got to show up as her or him, if there's hims here, before you become them. You have to start showing up as them. So when you're providing value, I don't want it to be like, I think I'm providing value. I am providing value. I am doing this. I am. It's affirmations, right? It's all putting it in your mind. But think about even, what sets you apart. So when you join the person that you joined in your business right now, because I'm sure each of us joined a person. I'm pretty sure you didn't join them because they didn't seem confident or seem like they would be able to help you. Yeah, this person looks like I'm going to fail. Sign me up. No, you had confidence in them being able to help you. You had confidence in them providing you with value, right? Because if they didn't, you wouldn't have signed up for whatever you signed up for, or doing whatever you're doing, or sharing whatever you're sharing, if there was no value there. So decide what sets you apart and provide value. And value can be whatever you want. So if you are stuck there, go back to that bubble thing, put your name. I mean, you can even create your own, let's be honest. It's kindergarten. Take a bubble, Jill in the middle, boom, 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 boom. I worked for NASA. I did this, retired early. I got a kid that's in, I know, she's laughing, NASA. I think it was NASA, something like that. I have a kid who's in modeling. I enjoy traveling, right? So many ways to provide value. Consistency. I know this is where everybody burns, like cut yourself and throw some salt in there. Once you start providing value, you got to stay consistent at it and what you want to be known for. I know that's super hard for people, but it's kind of like, think about if you were to work out for 30 days and at the end of the 30 days, you just stop. I'm pretty sure any results that you got during the 30 days are just going to come back, right? You're not going to keep getting a 6-pack by not working out. You're not going to keep getting fitter and losing more weight by not doing anything. Same thing goes here. If you do all the stuff for 30 days and then you just fall off, you're still not being consistent and you're shooting your brand in the foot. Because if people start following you, if you're networking every day and they start following you and then you just fall off the face of the earth, which I know you guys, listen, I'm telling you, I've had a sick kid home for 3 weeks. I've not been as consistent as I want, but I've built a brand up to this point where I'm like, oh, I'm going to put something in there. I'm going to go in there. I was like, crap, I really need to go live. It's been a minute. Don't be hard on yourself about it. Just create a consistency plan, a plan for you to say, okay, you know what, at the end of the month, I want to be, say I've gone live at least 2 times a week, or at the end of the month, I just want to go live once. Like, consistently showing up is going to help define your brand, because the other part of it is frequency. How much are you talking about what you have, your value, your brand, your business, right? The frequency of it. If you're not talking about it a lot, I did a reel on this a couple months ago. You got to talk about your business in order to have a business, right? Lots of people are always like, well, nobody said anything about my business. Well, and I'm not saying you have to blast your product, but let's say you have a brand post going and you're like, I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years. I work from home, blah, blah, blah. That's all frequency and talking about your business that will create people asking about what you do without necessarily saying, this is what I do, right? Kathleen said in the comments, consistency gets me every time. Small tip of what I do to try to help myself with consistency, especially if I know I'm going to have a busy week, is I will set alarms on my phone. Very easy to do if you have an iPhone. Hey Siri, remind me at noon to make a post. So you've got like from now until noon to think of something to get together. And I set them all week. That way I'm going to myself, okay, crap, I haven't made a post today. Maybe it's just a quote. Maybe it's just, something, sharing an old video. Like while I was on vacation, I was like, oh, we sold our house a year ago. I'll just share that video again. So don't stress yourself out necessarily with the content when it comes to consistency. Just get consistent at what you're doing, and it will start to just become habit. You're going to get up and you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to post. That's why I love stories, because it's a great way for me to get consistent. I show up in there every single day and it's just easy sharing my day. That's where you can blast your product, your company, do all that fun stuff, what you're doing the whole day. And that for me is very easy to start a routine on being consistent. Because the next one is visibility. Who sees you and where do they see you? So if you're not being consistent and you're not being frequent, visibility doesn't really matter because they're not seeing you anyway. But it's a huge thing. If a lot of you guys just said, when I said, do you see people selling stuff all the time? You said yes. So it's visibility. Are you visible? And this is why I stress going on platforms. Maybe this is going to be a new skill set thing for you, is you're going to say, I'm going to start showing up on this platform. Like I see Erin more on TikTok than I have before. And you choose what works best for you, because I'm not going to sit here and say who's for what. Maybe it's Instagram. Maybe it's just your Facebook business page. Maybe it's a group you're creating. Like, visibility is so important. That's why I'm always doing engagement hacks. If you could see behind the screen sometime, doesn't matter if I don't post, that day, 100% I'm engaging with people. I'm wishing people happy birthday. I'm going and liking posts of them and their business. I'm in Facebook groups asking questions. I think I posted in like 6 Facebook groups yesterday. I was like, how do you get rid of a dry cough? Where do you get a passport? And it's not like that all the time, but those are great times for you to be very visible in front of lots of people. Start getting in notifications, start commenting with other people. Because an important part, again, is if you're not being seen, they don't know what you have. They don't know what you are. They don't know what you have to offer. They don't know you as a person or a brand, right? So visibility is very important, especially nowadays, because we are a consuming society. We are all consuming social media all the time. So you definitely want to be the one that is seen. And that might help you with consistency too, is you're telling in your head, like, okay, I need to be consistent because I need to be seen. And it can be very simple things, right? Just repurposing content. Doesn't have to be this big thing. That's another reason too. I'm not the best at batching content, but if you're having issues with being consistent, I highly recommend batching content. Taking lots of pictures, using, lots of quotes or, memories. I love Facebook memories because I click on them and sometimes I'm like, I'll see a post that like went wild and I'm like, oh, I'm going to use that again. I'm networking every single day. So I don't have the same friends watching my page that I did 2 or 3 years ago. So I'll use that post again. Like my Christmas one, that was from last year. Just used it again. And I was like, hey, and it worked out great. Lots of people shared it. Lots of people are messaging me. So it does not have to be super, super difficult. Repurpose your stuff and figure out maybe where you can use things from your memories or from other platforms you can put on to other platforms as well. 4 C's of branding. 4 C's of branding. Competence, okay? Focus on what you need to do better, what you need to do better for yourself and maintain competence. Maybe you need to work more on the reach outs. Maybe your confidence, maybe it's your brand, maybe it's your social media in general. But if you focus on that and you maintain, you're going to start seeing growth. You're going to start also seeing growth in yourself. That's honestly what I care most about, because growth in yourself is what's going to take your confidence and your business to the next level. Because nothing's going to bother you. You're going to show up authentically as yourself. You're going to be the one that's like, hey, I'm out here monetizing social media. What the heck are you doing? You're just scrolling on your couch watching Netflix. Like I would have 7 years ago, I would have been scared to say that on Facebook, because I'd have been like, oh my gosh, people are going to delete me. If they're going to delete you, they're the ones that are still going to be sitting there scrolling, watching Netflix. Well, we're monetizing on social media. That's fine. There's a million fish in the sea. Okay. Do not worry about that. So being authentically yourself and maintaining that. So focus, maybe right now you were like, when I said focus on what something you need to do, maybe it's, the social media, maybe it's being consistent. Like Kathleen was saying, really try to figure out a plan that you can maintain to start doing that to yourself. And one of the things, it's actually my 4th thing, but I'm going to just say it now, is character. Okay. And I want to say this because it goes perfect with what I was just saying. And thinking about character, think about making small promises and keeping them. Make the promise to yourself. I'm going to start showing up. I'm going to start being consistent. I'm going to start building a personal brand. I'm going to start branding Erin. And I'm not saying you have to ditch everything you're doing, but how important it is to brand yourself in this day and age is what sets apart network marketers from here on out. Because lots of people are like, well, how do people do attraction marketing? They brand themselves. People are coming to them and they go, I don't care what you sell or what you do, but I want a part of it. Simply by branding themselves. There's a list of people I could tell you right now that I'm like, they are so good at it. I'll dig. It's like that direct shame, no sales game. Y'all, I dug on her Instagram for like dang near 20 minutes trying to figure out what she did. I had to go back to like 2017 to figure out what business she was in. But she does such a good job of branding herself. You would never know what business she's in. But I guarantee you, she's having a bunch of people come to her and go, I want to do what you're doing. Whatever it is, who cares? They could be selling socks and you don't even wear socks. And you're like, sign me up, I'm in. So keeping promises to yourself, like I'll reach back out tomorrow and you don't, or I'll do a real challenge and you don't, I'll go live, but you don't. I mean, showing up here every week is a big promise I keep to myself, whether I am stressed about life, feeling really great, feeling sick, it does not matter to me. I show up here to every single week because it's a promise that I keep to myself and to my business and to y'all, which is very important to me. So think about that as you talk or as you think about your brand this next week, is like, what promises can you start keeping to yourself? I'm going to start being more consistent. I'm going to have a plan for that. I'm going to, lots of people have really great ideas and they never take off on them. I want to make a Facebook group, and you've been wanting to make a Facebook group for a year, but you don't do it. Tell yourself, if I don't do it this week, I'm not allowed to watch whatever Netflix show I'm watching, and like literally hold yourself to it. That is literally how I work all my stuff. Like I can't do this unless I do that. I'm the hardest person on myself there is. And I'm not saying you got to be that hard, but start keeping promises is going to build character for you. Connection. So are you growing your network daily? I will say that till I'm blue in the face. Grow, grow, grow. I just saw Cindy say the other day she got to 5K in her friends list, which is incredible. Kudos to you. I know that's hard. I'm not even there yet. And I add like 50 people a day. But growing your network, it's a big part of visibility, right? Like if you're showing the same movie to the same people like me that really don't like watching a movie twice, we're getting up and we're leaving the theater. Bye. We're not coming back till there's a new movie. Think about, are you going on other platforms to make connections? A lot of my customers lately have come from TikTok, and I don't post there very often, to be honest with you. But it's just because I'm becoming more visible over on a different platform. No one's seen me over there. No one's seen what I'm doing over there. Everyone can work on their connections every day and strengthening them. It doesn't even matter, what point you are, but it's a huge part of our business. It's network marketing. network, right? I tell Haas every day, leverage your network. Leverage your network. So I want you to think about it too. Like if a customer or someone comes to you and they say, this is not for me, that's fine. Do you know someone it is for? You might, oh, I don't need to make extra money. I'm good. Oh, that's fine. Do you maybe know like someone in your family or a friend that needs to make extra money that you can link me up with? We're all just kind of scared to say that sometimes, but that's how you build connection. That's how you build network. Almost every person in my business I've met like through someone else, if not through social media. So you can meet through people. And that's a great way to remember that not every person is a destination. Sometimes they're a doorway. Sometimes they're going to open a door to more people. You just got to ask, leverage your network. Simple things you can do too, business networking meetings. I just signed up for one online, very easy to find. You can do BNIs, Facebook groups, lots of ways to make connections with people. And the last one is courage. I'm going to wrap this up. Courage is needed, not just professionally, but personally. Work on growing you. You're going to get more courageous by doing difficult tasks. So like going live, reaching out to people on your chicken list, posting more about your brand. That might scare you a little bit. That's fine. Take that leap, because you're never going to gain more courage and more confidence by not doing the things that scare the crap out of you. Moving a year ago away from my family kind of scared the crap out of me. But after doing it, I was like, what the heck? This was the best thing I ever did in my whole life. So what if you start doing something that steps you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but it's the best thing that ever happened in your life? You never know. You will never know until you try it, until you gain enough courage to go after it. So I want you to think maybe about something this week that's a difficult task for you. And I want you to eat that frog. Go after it first thing in the morning when you're feeling fired up and just do it. Maybe it's a person you've been wanting to reach out and ask about your opportunity or share your business with. And you're just like, oh, I'm scared. Y'all, you are hiding behind a computer. This is the most fearless place for me to be. Put me in a room with people, I'm going to crap my pants. But if I'm behind this computer, I'm all, join, this is what I'm doing. If they say no, okay, fine, just exit out the conversation. Thanks for answering. Have a good day. My response is always, thanks for getting back to me. Appreciate it. Have a great day. There's a million people. It's nothing. And I know tough skin has grown over time, but I've only grown that tough skin because I've been doing that and been getting no's and just saying it's okay and going on with my business and going on with my day. Because there will be people that say yes. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys in growing your brand. I would love, love, love if anybody has questions on personal branding and stuff like that, go on the Hustle and Slay page, post it, or maybe post some things that you're working on doing that, you know, help you create a brand. I'll try to bump that bubble map. But again, like I was saying, it's not hard. Just, you know, do like the little circles like we used to do in kindergarten, push them off and find things about yourself that you can share. And business owner is one of them, because each of us here are business owners. We know how to help people in a business. I mean, think about, you could just look up the tax benefits from having a business and talk about that for a week. So create a personal brand and start now. Because if there's one thing I could tell you that I wish I would have done a long time ago, would be to start creating a personal brand and start growing myself. So I love you guys. Have a great rest of your week and see you next time.